in your own time and exploring your range. So, ooh, quite gently. Ooh. Don't know what the range of a seal is. One of my daughters makes some quite strange noises as well. It's funny how they're different. Ooh, nice gentle exploration of the range. Ooh. Good. And a little bit of a nice hum. Feeling the lips and mouth area vibrating a little bit as well. So ready. And one up. Nice. We didn't start with a stretch this time, so we could just incorporate that nice reaching up and maybe a little bit of a neck gently to each side. And dropping the head forward to release these muscles a little bit. Maybe backwards if you're comfortable with that. Good. And then a feeling of your little puppet string going up to the ceiling so that your head's level, but your spine is as long as it can be, which actually helps all the vocal apparatus to have that lengthening. I actually was on a singing course once. This is in New Zealand, and we had an Australian singing professor with us, and he would, if any of the girls had their hair in a ponytail, he would just yank their ponytail upwards, and that was his way of getting that length and elongation in the spine all the way up to the top. So it's not a question of lifting your chin. That can be actually unhelpful to the voice. So sort of feeling that chin is in a neutral position, but with the back of the top of the head just here. As they say in Alexander's technique, a feeling that it could go upwards. So not forcing it, but letting it be quite free. That was a bit of a digression, but it's always good to think of taking up as much space as you can in a way, and because we're at home we can do that, which is nice, so you don't have to feel all constrained like sometimes when you're squashed into a small venue or church pews or something. And then a few more things. Let's just do one on try this one on me. So that's the last one of those. I was thinking of something like this as well for the abdominal muscles, which is going to be so 3 and obviously drop down if you're a lower voice, but we'll do a few more. So 3 and not the easiest one to start on the top, but we're going a little bit higher in some of this Elijah. Maybe just a slightly more florid one to finish with. So let's do we'll start lower and go. So it's your scale up to the 9th, and or so 4 notes on and E, and then O all the way down. Just join in as you can. So 3 and lovely Elijah to look at today for karaoke. I've got number 5 to start with, which is Yet Doth the Lord See It Not. In my novella, it's page 20. Does that match up with Andrew's score, the online one that was sent around? If it's different, could somebody put it in the chat?
23.
Okay, thank you, Kingsley. So page 23. Or if you're in the book, it's page 20. It comes in pretty quickly basis, so I'll give you a note now. Let's just find the track. So just make sure there's some noise. There we go. Good. Is there anything I should say? It's quite obviously dramatic, this one, so don't push your voices. It's still early on in the rehearsal and there's plenty of singing to do. There are some high points towards the end. Sopranos have got top A's, so just you know, I probably personally drop down at those moments, but it's, yeah, just go gently and look after yourself. So let's see if this works. Thank you, everybody. The next one we're going to sing is number 20, which I think is page 99 in my score, but in the PDF, I presume it just follows on what the document you've been given. So. Thank you, Janet. Now, I think on this track, it goes straight in on the tutti, as in everybody, with no intro. So, and again, it's pretty quick. I'll just. Just while I've stopped, I'm presuming, so I haven't heard any chats to the contrary, that everybody's hearing the sound now, and nobody's got problems of that nature. Good, thank you. And hopefully the volume's all right. We checked it with Ray, so it doesn't sound that loud to me, but hopefully it's coming across well. Okay, so number 20, Thanks Be to God. This is a great rollicking ride. So it does have the bass part, but it just goes in without the chords, the bar before, so it comes in on the second bar of that page. We'll just start again. So the bass is, here we go. One more time. would you like to do that one more time?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's quite fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem.
I can't, Chris, you're mute. I can't hear you.
I've got a problem because people keep popping up, like Annalise was on the screen when I should have been seeing you conducting, and she was on most of the whole thing. And then in the previous one, somebody's name, Richard Thompson or something, was up on the screen, and it was blocking out.
Yeah, I think that happens when somebody's accidentally unmuted themselves, and I did mute everybody 2 or 3 times towards the beginning of that. But if you find my picture, you can go to the 3 dots next to, if you hover over the picture, you should get 3 little dots, and you might have the option that says pin. If you click on pin, then my picture will stay in your screen.
Oh, right, okay.
Regardless of whoever else is unmuted or whoever else makes noise. Is that all right? Okay.
But all I could see was you in a tiny little picture at the top, yeah.
Sometimes people accidentally unmute themselves, but if you always pin whoever is conducting, then their picture will stay in the middle. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to mute everybody again. That's all right. I think there's a positive reaction to potentially doing that one more time. Andrew's happy for us to spend a bit more time on Elijah tonight because, well, I guess in the notices it will be talked about whether we're able to meet in March, but perhaps he's not so worried about the mark being absolutely perfect by next month is all I'm thinking. So I'm mute everybody again now. Let me just go back in the track to where we started that one. So back to page 99/98, depending on your score. About here. Right, and the bass note is, and your other notes are when it comes to the second line. So straight in on the bass entry there. Okay, lovely. It's a lot of fun. I suppose the equivalent is now, thanks be to God for all the different vaccines that with us. The next one we're going to sing is, I think it's page 100 and it's number 29. Anyway, I've got it on page 145. But it'll be, yeah, 141 says Janet. So thanks Janet. 141 in the online PDF, but I presume it just follows on. Good. This starts out of nowhere pretty quietly, so sopranos want to be ready, and as the note, so D major. I think probably most people will know this one already. Good. Let me just find the starting point. It's so quiet on the track that I can't actually see where it starts, but I think I know, so I'll have to try and be in time with the beginning. Right. Oh, let me just mute everybody again. Sorry for the delay. Okay, here we go. There's your note again. Sopranos. Nice. So beautiful. So that's all we're going to look at this evening for Elijah. But I hope it's been nice to revisit some of the movements which we've worked on before in the choir. Now a bit of a gear change. We shall look at some Bach. We've got more or less moving from where I got to 2 weeks ago and seeing if we can get somewhere towards the end. So we're going to start with number 44, which is on page 113. Away with him, away. Let me just find the right audio track. So 44. And we should have done sectional work on these previously. I think the music is very similar to the Crucify chorus, but it doesn't have so many fast words. It has more of the slow crucify, but it is quite there's still quite a lot to do. I suggest we do it at once at the speed that we've got, and then if we need to slow it down, we can think about that. I've learned from Andrew how to do that now, I think. So so this is the beginning of 44. I think it just has the half a bar recit before the evangelist, but they cried out. So that's the basis note and the other parts. Let's try.
Away with him, 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 away with
Great. So let me know if you can all hear your parts clearly enough. It is possible to adjust the balance. Obviously, if I put one up, then it might adversely affect other people. But if you're really...
I find the soprano is quite loud.
The soprano is quite loud. Okay, I can turn that down. Just catching up on the chat. So I can do that, and that will maybe help the altos. Can I just get a vague idea of, if I scroll through your pictures, can you put your hands up if you think it would be useful to do it slower? I'm just going to have a little look through. So put your hands up or up here. A few people. I think that, I think there are enough people that would appreciate that. So let me just see if I can slow it down by about 10%. Change. Yeah. So beginning. Okay, let me just test this out and see what it sounds like.
away.
Okay, I think that's good. So back to the beginning of that one, number 44. And I think quite quite sort of definite on the away, away, and then you can be a bit more lyrical when you get into the long crucifix. Not that it's nice what you're singing about, but you need to sort of give plenty of body throughout those long notes to make the contrast in the texture. So let's start that one at the slower speed.
Away with him, away with him, away with him, away with him, away with
Great. So actually it's much harder actually to sing it, in a sense it's harder to sing it slower. The soprano's too quiet. Okay, well I turned it down part way through because I'd forgotten to do it, so maybe that was when it got too quiet. It's hard for me to judge from this end. I've got my volume as loud as it goes on my computer, so if things are too quiet, see if you can turn them up your end. If it was too loud for everybody, I can turn it down, but I don't think that's the case. Let's move on. Unless anybody wants to ask me specific notes or phrases, let's move on to number 46, which is just more or less the next page. So page 120. This is one of the very short ones that's just similar to some of the early music in the piece. Let's just get that one. 46. I don't know how the balance will be for everybody, but we can tweak that if we need to. So we're in the recit is from the page before. The chief priest answered and said to him, and we're in that key. So okay.
We have no king but Caesar. We have no king but Caesar. Have no king but Caesar.
Okay, let's do that one straight away again.
We have no king but Caesar. We have no king but Caesar. Have no king but Caesar.
Right. Fairly straightforward. Is anybody worried about that one in any way? Seems okay. Good. Let's go on. We're going to miss out Ailt, because I should say number 48, because we've worked on that with Andrew last week, and we are going to look at number 50, which is on page 134, and we have already done music which is similar to this one. I think, is it 34? Yeah, we did the "See, we hail thee, King of Jews, we hail thee," and then now we have "Write thou not, So it's all familiar. It's all familiar music, but with different words. I think it's almost exactly the same. I mean, the accompaniment part is slightly different in a few bars, but the majority of it is the exact repeat of number 34. So hopefully you won't need to spend too long on this one. 50. It's all pretty strong. A little bit convoluted, but right thou not the King of the Jews. Right that rather he himself said that I am the King of the Jews. So a little bit of semantics there. Make sure everybody's not muted. Right, hopefully this tempo should be fine because it's not so. It's the accompaniment, the violins that are fast in this, not you so much. I think the rest it goes just into then said the chief priest of the Jews unto Pilate. So and then it's that sort of key. So let's see.
Rise thou not, 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 the King of Jews, rise thou not, the King of Jews, the King of Jews, rise thou not, the King of Jews, rather that he himself said, rather that he himself said, that he himself said, that I am the King of the Jews.
Yeah, I think don't shorten the staccatos at the end too much. It probably works better when you have two syllables in the German. But yeah, let's listen to what Andrew did, but I don't think it's too much of a lift there. Does anybody want to ask for any notes or worries in that one?
Leanne,
The trills.
Did Andrew say anything about it last time? Definitely the bass one is in, isn't it, in bar 7.
I've got a circle around it, so I'm presuming that we're singing.
Yeah, I think that's right. So are you talking about bar
yes, we
8?
are.
Bar 8, Chris, is that the one you mean? Yeah. So
Would you just hear the notes for it, please?
okay.
Can I just ask, Leanne, top of page 136,
Mm-hmm.
I've got the word the before king crossed out, and I'm not sure if that's us or whether it's inherited from whoever had this before me.
In the alto part.
The alto part, top of page 36, I've got not, and then the crossed, and then King of Jews.
I don't remember that being discussed, and the tenors and basses have got the on the previous half bar. Well, lots of times actually. So not. I don't see why you wouldn't have the.
No, I think it must have been whoever had this before me. So
they might have needed breath or something. I don't know. I think it doesn't make sense if you miss that out.
No,
so, thank you. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't sound like anybody else has got that same thing. So let's run it one more time. And I didn't know how long the gap was. No. Let's go back to the beginning. Right.
Rise thou not, rise thou not, rise thou not, rise thou not, the King of that he himself said, that he himself said, that he himself said, I am the King of the Jews.
Lovely. Well done, everybody. So we will, let's just, what we'll do, because 54 is quite difficult. I think on the email it might have said 46 twice, but that was obviously a mistake, and we're going to do 54. But let's leave that till after the break, because it's a little bit more tricky. So let's just run through the chorale with the bass aria, which is on page 157. I presume is that okay, Debbie? We've got time to do one more before notices, have we? Let me find. So it's number 60. What do I need to say? Just a little rhythmic thing to clarify. This is obviously in 12/8, so it's sort of the lilting. But sometimes you in the chorale have duplets, so even though the accompaniment is going for example, on bar 11 we have that da da da, the duplet, you have to go against the accompaniment a little bit. But conversely, when you have then you have the dotted rhythm. Andrew wants it sung as a triplet, which goes with the soloist and with the accompaniment. So that an example of that is in bar 18 in the tenor part, rather than dotting it too much. There's another one in bar 21 in the tenors. I think those are the only ones I have circled. Yeah, so the harder one to do is the duplet, when you just have the two quavers together and you have to spread it across the beat, which is the compound beat. Right, let's do this. I'll just make sure. It's about 3.5 minutes, so we'll have notices after that. I'm just double checking nobody's muted. No. Good. And you've got a chorale guide part played in on the track as well. So straight in at the top of number 60.
My Lord and Master, let me ask thee, let me ask thee, Lord and Master, let me ask thee, Lord and Master, let me ask thee. At this thy glorious crucifixion, thy crucifixion was all fulfilled with thy last breath, with thy last breath. By dying hast thou conquered death, by dying hast thou conquered death, by dying conquered death. I take, by dying hast thou conquered death, by dying conquered death. Lord, thine own sake, desolation shall we attain salvation. And Has the world been saved today? Has the world been saved today? Has the world been saved? God's saved today. Has the world been saved today? Life to thy suffering sorely task thee, thy suffering sorely task thee, thy suffering sorely task thee, yet bow for us thy head, yet bow for us thy head, and say, yet bow for us thy head, and say, inside to Lord Mary, yet bow for us thy head, and say, in silence, yea, in silence, in silence, yea, yet bow thy head for us, and say, in silence, yea.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. Straight over to Debbie for the notices, please.
Thank you, Leanne. What a lovely sing we're having tonight. Right, so I've got 3 notices. First of all, the Skills and Talents audit is due in on Sunday. We've had quite a few, but it would be so nice to get some more. So please do. You don't have to write a lot, just one little thing that you think might be useful, that you know you're good at and you're experienced at. Could be immeasurably helpful to all of us, and so we will welcome them. So I think it's 6 p.m. on Sunday, but please do, if you haven't already sent it in, remember to do something and think about a time when we might all be able to get together and do things to help each other. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, the second point is something that Leanne touched on. We're all beginning to see this slightly shaky roadmap out of where we are now and into normality, but it is a longer route than we might have envisaged. And it is not going to be possible, certainly, to do a workshop on the 27th of March. We've been in discussions with Andrew about whether and when we might be able to put it into later next term. But I think, having seen the roadmap, even that's looking quite late into the term. So I've agreed with Andrew that initially trustees and I will have a look at it. We'll discuss it with him and we'll involve the committee and make some recommendations as soon as possible. So something will happen with the BARC, but whether it's a workshop and when that might happen is what's in the air. We'll let you know as soon as we've had these discussions, which we are treating quite urgently. So hang on in there. And we will hope to return to live singing when we can, safely, whatever it is we sing. And finally, today is the day of the month that you all look forward to with bated breath and fluttering tummies. It's the 100 Club draw, and I'm going to pass over to Chris and his lovely assistant, Sarah. I think.
Hi there. Right, I'll draw the numbers then. I think you can all hear me. So this month is the February draw, and in reverse order, the third prize, which is the grand sum of £4.80, is number 63. 63.
Marigold Howarth.
Hooray!
Oh, there we go. The next one is number 53. That's the second prize of £14.40.
That's Kathy Goodman.
53. And the first prize, which this month is £24, is number 924.
Oh, goodness me.
924.
Keiko Walker,
Oh,
if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
so yeah, Keiko is actually she's in Japan, and those of you who don't know, her father passed away on Christmas Eve. So,
Oh,
so
dear.
she's been in Japan with her mum. She was hoping to be back. She's got the music for the St. John, but obviously Japan sort of shut down and stopped people coming and going. So I think it'd be really nice to email her and let her know that she's won. And, you know.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll put you into some breakout rooms at about 5 past. She's on page 140. And although this is quite a quick one, the tempo on the recording isn't too hectic. So I think you'll be able to hear it. We'll run it through once, and then if people would like to slow it down, we can potentially do that as well. It is quite I think it's more difficult to sing this in the English because of the words, especially the sopranos start quite high, and let us not, obviously at that top octave, let us not divide. It's lots of T's and D's, and not the kindest words to have to sing at high pitch. So I think keep it light, keep it quite don't make heavy weather of it when you've got runs. Don't get bogged down in the individual notes. Try and see it as a whole shape. Each bar is usually an upward figure. So think about where you're traveling to rather than really getting stuck in each individual semiquaver. And just think quite light overall. Although the texture does build up, they're all 4 parts doing different things to create that effect. So keeping it quite sort of fizzy, I think is helpful, and finder on the voices. So here we go, for 54. And let me just tell you what happens before. I think it's the bar of recit before. And then this is the note bases. This is going to be bass, alto, soprano.
Let us not divide, let us not divide, let us not divide,
Great, thanks everybody. I think that's one of the hardest ones. So let's see. I mean, it isn't as fast as you sometimes hear it taken, this track, but would people like to slow it down? I'll just have a quick look through. Or would you just like to do it again? So put your hand up if you'd like it slower. I think most people are happy just to do it again at that speed, judging by a quick flick through your pictures. So we'll do that, and obviously you can always access your rehearsal tracks at home and go through your parts separately, which I definitely recommend doing on this number in particular. So if you have the chance, and if you are going to work on one item, then make a note maybe that this would be the one to just check out the little runs and the little intervals, and which times you have the minor triads, and sometimes they're major, and there are all sorts of patterns which come but with different intervals each time. So those are the ones to be sure about. So let's do it again.
Let us not divide, let us not divide, let us not divide, it shall be, it shall be. Let us not divide, let us not divide, let us not divide, it shall be, let us
Well done, everybody. I think the sopranos in particular, just don't worry too much at all about the words when you have those very high notes like the who's towards the end there, and you have another place, is it shall, whose it shall be on bar 33, 34. Just keep the jaw very relaxed. Don't try too much to enunciate those consonants. Just let it float. And I mean, the words come so many times in this number. We really don't need you to constrict your voices just to get those words clear. So think more about vocal comfort, I think, on those particular moments. Yeah, that one's worth keeping tabs on if you have any spare time. Let's what it might be useful to do, we sort of did the chorale with baritone aria just before the break. I'm just wondering whether it would be useful to people to go through the chorale part, just the chorale on its own without hearing the baritone solo, or do people feel confident? Do you feel confident on your notes on that one, the rhythms, or would you like to do it one more time, maybe without the soloist? Maybe unmute and speak.
I'd like to go through it once more.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. I think we've got time to do that, and the final chorus, as in not there's a chorale that comes at the end, but yeah, let's get back to that then, which is 60. Is that right? Yeah, number 60. And what I'll do is mute the soloist's line, I think, as in mute Andrew's voice. 60. it's going to be easier just to play the whole thing through, I think, from the beginning. If we try and stop and start, it'll just get too confusing. So you're in this key, and your first chord. So you hear before you the bar that you come in, you have. Going on from there. So let's try that. So we're on page 157.
Jesus, thou who tasted death, livest thou forever. When I take my final breath, Lord, forsake me never. Heavy God's redeeming Son, new life to inherit. Grant me that which thou hast won. Oh, I do not merit.
I think that was useful just to be able to hear exactly what's going on in the choir. It's very beautiful. Well done, everybody. Let's go on to number 67. And that's on page 179. 179. Actually, wondering whether we might. I think we've got time to do the whole thing. So let's find the right thing here. 67. Double check. Good. All right. So this will be our last thing for this evening. We'll spend a bit of time perhaps on the central section. Let's go from the beginning. And thinking. I've got a couple of things marked in to remember. So for example, bar, at the last bar of page 181, sopranos have the ornament there, so you just do 2 even quavers. So rest in God's safe keeping, just 2 even quavers. I think that happens again, and yeah, you sometimes get it, like for example on page 184 you have the so you do that one as a quaver as well. From all our sorrows, that's bar 65. So they usually follow that similar pattern. Right, here we go.
Sleep well, and rest in God's safe keeping, who makes an end of all our weeping. Sleep well, as dawn is best on his breast. Sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, and on his breast. Sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, and rest in God's safe keeping, who makes an end of all our weeping. Sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, on his breast. Sleep well.
I'm going to stop there for a second. What I'd like to do is that little episode again, just the little bit that we just did from the end of page 183, just because the other part comes a lot of times and this is one of the bits that only comes once. I just have to find, I think it must be about here. Let me just see if I've got the right place. Okay, fantastic. Right, so let's just cover that bit one more time. Just the end of bar 60, so it's the bottom of page 183. Just a few notes. I think it's about a bar before you all come in. That's your harmonies. Okay, here we go. Cover that little bit one more time for the upper parts, tenors, altos and sopranos. Just find the place. So from the basically the last page with upbeat, where we just were. Written 47. Let me just check this is the place. Excellent. Okay, so stops, altos and tenors. We'll cover that bit one more time from the grave that was prepared. And then we can go back and practice going back to the sign, which is on the first page, 179. And it's just where you start singing. So you just sing Sleep Well, and it goes back in there without the orchestral introduction. So you have to be ready to turn back. How many is that? About 5 pages. Yeah. So probably if it did come to a concert or workshop session, it's quite used to have one of those sticky tabs on that one, so you can easily find your page to go back to. So we're going to just start at bar 112 and end of bar 112, going through that little episode and then back to the main chorus and we'll go until the point that it ends, which of course is on page 183. And that should bring us to a close nicely. So here's that point. I'll just give you your notes. It's quite it's very similar thematically to the previous sort of episode, or different bit, but it's sort of a little bit more the harmony is a little bit more adventurous in this one, so it's a little bit more difficult, I think. It's quite, yeah, unexpected. Let's just pick it up there one more time.
Sleep well, the grave that was prepared for thee, from all sorrows sets us free, and points our way to shuts the gates of hell. Sleep well, and rest in God's safe keeping, who makes an end of all weeping. Sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, and on his breast, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, and on his breast, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, and rest in God's safe keeping, who makes an end of all our weeping. Sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, on his breast, sleep well, on his breast, sleep well.
And that is almost the end of the John Passion. But it is the end of what we're going to cover tonight. Thank you so much for all your time and attention. I hope you're all well. I hope you're continuing to have your arms stabbed and jabbed as we go. And it's been lovely to see you all again. And I think Andrew will be back next week. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.